You are lying in bed in the dark. The screen illuminates your face with a harsh blue glow. You swipe up again. Another disaster, another outrage, another crisis flashes before your tired eyes. You desperately want to look away and go to sleep. Why do your fingers completely refuse to put the phone down? You probably blame yourself for this behavior. You think you just lack discipline. You tell yourself it is just a bad modern habit that you need to break. But the real answer is far stranger. You are not broken. You are executing an ancient survival program with terrifying efficiency. How did a mechanism designed to save your life become a psychological prison? For 99% of human history, information was a literal matter of life and death. Your ancestors lived as hunter-gatherers in small, vulnerable bands. They existed on a dangerous, highly unpredictable savanna. In that brutal environment, survival was not about finding the most beautiful sunset or the sweetest fruit. Survival was strictly about anticipating the predator hiding in the tall grass. Imagine an early human hearing a sudden rustle in the bushes nearby. It could just be the wind blowing through the leaves, or it could be a hungry leopard preparing to strike. What happens to the human who assumes it is just the wind? If an ancient human ignored the rustle, assuming it was safe, they were immediately removed from the gene pool. If they obsessed over the rustle, assuming the absolute worst, they lived to see another day. This brutally simple evolutionary filter worked flawlessly for millions of years. It created a human brain that is entirely hardwired to prioritize bad news over good news. Our biology demands that we pay attention to danger first. Evolutionary psychologists refer to this deeply ingrained biological mechanism as the negativity bias. Your brain is not actually designed to make you happy. Your brain is designed to keep you alive. Dr. Roy Baumeister, a prominent social psychologist, co-authored a famous and highly influential paper simply titled "Bad is Stronger Than Good." He and his team of researchers analyzed decades of complex psychological data. They discovered a fundamental, unavoidable asymmetry in human perception. Why does a single insult linger in your mind for years while 100 compliments fade away instantly? We process negative information much faster than positive information. We remember it much longer. We react to it far more intensely. The pain of losing a child, failing a hunt, or being exiled from the tribe carried fatal permanent consequences. The joy of a full stomach was merely a temporary state. Your nervous system evolved to treat every potential threat as a high-priority emergency. How does this ancient hyper-vigilant software operate in the modern digital world? It completely and utterly malfunctions. The prehistoric savanna has been replaced by the algorithmic feed. The rustle in the bushes has been replaced by a limitless, infinite stream of global catastrophes. When you open a social media app, you are stepping into an environment perfectly engineered to exploit your biological negativity bias. Every sensationalized headline is precisely designed to trigger your ancient threat detection system. You are being hacked on a cellular level. Your amygdala is a primitive almond-shaped alarm bell located deep inside your brain. It instantly lights up when it perceives a threat. It floods your nervous system with cortisol and adrenaline. It tells your physical body that danger is imminent and unavoidable. It demands immediate physical action to ensure your survival. But there is no leopard to run from. There is no rival tribe to fight in your bedroom. There is only another terrifying video to watch. Why does the act of scrolling feel so hypnotic and impossible to break? The answer involves a strange, paradoxical biological cocktail. As you consume terrifying negative information, your brain desperately seeks a way to cope with the mounting anxiety. Dr. Robert Sapolsky, a renowned neuroendocrinologist at Stanford University, has spent his entire career studying stress and primate behavior. He notes that unpredictability and a lack of control are two of the greatest triggers of the mammalian stress response. When we do not know what is going to happen, our nervous system goes into overdrive. How do you attempt to regain control when the world feels like it is falling apart? By continuously scrolling through bad news, you are subconsciously trying to gather enough data to predict the threat. You falsely believe that if you just read one more article, if you just watch one more analysis, you will finally understand the danger and feel safe. It is a powerful, blinding biological illusion. The algorithm does not ever want you to feel safe. The algorithm only wants you to stay engaged and keep scrolling. You are trapped in a labyrinth with no exit. And so, a twisted, self-destructive reward loop is born in your mind. Every time you swipe your screen and uncover a new piece of bad news, your brain releases a tiny, potent hit of dopamine. Dopamine is not just a chemical associated with pleasure and happiness. It is the primary neurotransmitter of seeking, hunting, and anticipating rewards. Your ancestors received a massive dopamine hit when they successfully tracked a dangerous animal's footprints in the mud. Today, you get that exact same dopamine hit when you successfully locate the latest societal outrage on your timeline. Are you actually trying to stay informed, or are you just feeding a primal chemical addiction to fear? Consider the role of social contagion in this digital nightmare. For early humans, fear was a highly contagious, deeply necessary emotion. If one member of the tribe suddenly looked terrified and started running, you did not stop to ask questions. You immediately started running too. The shared experience of fear kept the entire group safe from a sudden, unexpected ambush. We are biologically programmed to mirror the emotional states of those around us. Dr. Elaine Hatfield, a pioneer in psychological research, defined this critical phenomenon as emotional contagion. We biologically mimic the facial expressions, postures, and vocalizations of those around us, literally catching their emotions like a virus. When you doom scroll, you are subjecting yourself to a massive, globalized wave of emotional contagion. You are staring at the terrified, angry, or panicked expressions of millions of strangers through your screen. Your mirror neurons, specialized cells in your brain that allow for rapid empathy, cannot tell the difference between a person crying in front of you and a person crying on a video. Why is this lack of distinction so incredibly dangerous for your health? You absorb their trauma as if it were your very own. Your brain interprets this massive influx of digital panic as absolute proof that the entire human tribe is under immediate attack. This relentless daily consumption of trauma has profound physical consequences for your body. You are constantly simulating global disaster in your mind. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, a leading clinical psychiatrist and expert on traumatic stress, famously explains that the body keeps the score. The physical body absorbs and remembers the psychological terror we subject it to. When your brain perceives a threat, even a virtual one displayed on a glowing piece of glass, your physiology drastically changes. Your heart rate variability immediately drops. Your digestion completely slows down. Your immune system is actively suppressed to redirect energy to your muscles. You are living in a chronic, unending state of fight or flight, while physically trapped in a bedroom that is entirely safe. How long can your biological hardware sustain this level of artificial stress before something breaks? You are exhausting your adrenal glands for a danger that exists only in pixels and code. Consider the sheer, unnatural scale of the information you are forcing your Paleolithic brain to process. A prehistoric hunter-gatherer only ever knew about the tragedies that occurred within a 20-mile radius of their camp. If a fire broke out or a neighboring tribe attacked, it was highly relevant, actionable information. They could actually do something about it. Today, you are carrying the combined suffering of 8 billion people right in your pocket. Are we truly meant to witness every tragedy that occurs on planet Earth? You watch a brutal war unfold on one continent. You see a devastating earthquake destroy a city on another continent. You witness a chaotic political crisis in a third. You process all of this within a matter of minutes while sitting comfortably on your couch. Your fragile nervous system was never designed to hold the agonizing weight of a fully globalized world. It is a profound, damaging evolutionary mismatch. Our technological reach has vastly outpaced our biological capacity to process grief. You have to mentally step outside the evolutionary loop. You must become the quiet, detached observer of your own primal panic. Notice the tightness in your jaw, Notice the shallow, rapid nature of your breathing. Acknowledge that your primitive amygdala is desperately trying to protect you from harm. You can silently thank your ancient ancestors for their extreme vigilance, because without it, you would not exist today. But you must firmly remind your nervous system that the year is no longer 10,000 BC. You must aggressively train your brain to differentiate between a digital simulation of danger and an actual physical threat in your room. This requires an act of radical cognitive defiance. You have to consciously choose to consume silence. You have to physically look away from the glowing screen and stare directly into the boring, mundane, entirely safe reality of your present moment. The silence will feel deeply, agonizingly uncomfortable at first. Your ancient brain will scream at you that you are missing something vastly important. It will insist that looking away is a dangerous, fatal mistake. You must sit quietly with that profound discomfort. You must prove to your nervous system, through direct physical action, that the world does not end when you stop monitoring it. You are not a passive, helpless victim of your biology. You possess a highly evolved prefrontal cortex completely capable of overriding your primitive impulses. You have the immense power to define your own reality. You can choose to step out of the simulated apocalypse. You can choose to reclaim your attention. You can choose to rest. You are lying in bed in the dark. The screen illuminates your face with a harsh blue glow. You swipe up again, but this time you know exactly what is happening, and you put the phone down.